Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back here. So, for the first time in, oh man, like forever, there's like no queues. And you may be wondering, well, this list seems a little bit longer. That's because they did release 2 new US servers today, and that helped out the queues tremendously. But here's the kicker. This is 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time right now. All throughout the day, Sunday, yesterday, there was queues everywhere, even on the new servers. But the new server queue for the patrons were like a minute or two. It was nothing. Even on some of the other ones, even though it said like 1,000 possibly, the queues went extremely quick because they've become more efficient at killing bots and killing AFK players. They're also working on getting rid of the credit card fraud. So you are going to see the marketplace items being increased in value. You're going to notice that the workers' compensation potions are starting to rise dramatically. The tax certificates, the vocation tonics, the regrade charms, those things are all going to start rising in price fairly dramatically. And also the Apex. The Apex will be raising in price again, and going up fairly dramatically because you aren't having the cash drop players. So some people are upset that they release new servers saying that it's going to kill the game, that they're going to die, merges, blah blah blah. And then there's others that are demanding more servers. Uh, it's a fine balance between adding more servers and then having too many servers. But what really stuck out today was that Scapes posted on the forums that they had 10 times more players now trying to play the game than they did during open beta. So we'll let that sink in. 10 times more players. Like, if you played open beta, you know that there was a lot of players. We'll go pull up his statement right now. So this is Scapes' statement right here. If we had a silver bullet, we would have used it immediately. The solution is simply not that expedient. A combination of development work and physical hardware additions are needed to resolve the queue lengths. Introducing more servers at launch would have preempted this issue, but we did not anticipate 10 times our beta population to join the game. So this little phrase here and this little information is kind of snuck through the cracks. So it's going to give us a gauge on the actual population, the health of the game. So for the players that played open beta, you probably would estimate they had 6 servers, if I recall correctly, at that time. There was queues all across the board to get into open beta, and each server was really, really crowded. There was a little bit of land available because people weren't taking it serious. But yeah, so you would probably estimate in those 6 servers, I mean, there was probably close to 1 million players playing in open beta. I think that would be a fair estimate. So now if you look at this, 10 times that is 10 million players right now that are currently playing or trying to play Archeage. Probably the keyword is trying to play, because the queues are still fairly long, especially for free-to-play players. So the patron queues are roughly 60 minutes to 2 hours right now still. And the free-to-play players, I can't comment on that, but they are longer than that, so probably 4 hours or so for a free-to-play player. But yeah, so even if, we'll take this back, even if there was only 500,000 players in open beta, there's still 10 times more now, which means they have 5 million players. So for the people that think that this game isn't going to last, or that there's just too much hype, there's no substance, they have World of Warcraft level amounts of players right now. We are not going to get an exact estimate of how many players they have. They don't really kind of like do those type of things. They might release a press release later on if they do crack the 10 million mark and are, constantly around that mark. That's where they're staying, and that would be a huge press release saying, oh, we have 10 million active users playing Archeage. Come join the fun. Would definitely help out with the hype train. But yeah, so my estimates is that there's probably close to 10 million, maybe more, because each server, you would figure should hold probably 200,000 to 300,000 players. not at one time, but a maximum amount of players should be probably 200,000 to 300,000 players per server before you start getting those queues to log in. But, you know, that's all just guessing based on observations. You can go into the starting zones and you can see hundreds upon hundreds of players in each starting zone. And there's 4 specific starting zones. So you multiply that by 4, and you already have at least, at the bare minimum, you already have, 2,000 players in all those starting zones logged on at any given time. You can go into the next couple zones and you'll start seeing, you can get raid parties going fairly simple. You can get 10 people, 15 people added to your raid like in a second with the, radius raid invites feature. And that's just the people that accepted your raid. There's all the other players that didn't accept. And then you keep going further on in the game, you start finding less and less players. But that doesn't mean that they aren't out there, aren't, farming, aren't searching the land, aren't fishing. There are players out in the deep crevice of the world doing random miscellaneous things that they enjoy. So even if the server capacity has like say 10,000 players active on at one time, the overall server probably has anywhere between 200 to 300,000 max amount of players that they can be created, because now they have locked character creation on most of the servers. And only the new servers that they have released are available to make characters. So even if you have an old character on that server, say like Ollo, say if you're on Ollo and you have a character there, you can't make a second or a third character there because they have locked it. You can't. So even if you already have one, you can't. If you have a character on there, you can play on Ollo with that character, but you cannot make a new character. So they are in the works of getting server transfers, but it seems like it's going to be a long process because they have to go through XL Games, and XL Games have to implement into the system. So we don't know exactly how long that will be. Probably within the months, though. I definitely don't see it happening in the days. It might be in the weeks, so maybe like 3 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. But more likely, it will be in the months, probably into 2 months or 3 months away for the server transfers. So if you are looking forward to playing Archeage, you have a character slot available, because you do need that, go on the new servers. The servers, they are populated, healthy, but there's less patrons, so it means the land is available, and it's not as taken up already, because all the first 8 servers, the first 6 servers guarantee your 100% land is taken. You might be able to find a farm or scarecrow 8x8, 16x16 if you do a lot of searching, like a lot. But you're not going to find a 24x24. It's going to be very, very hard to find any land whatsoever, except for mansions, and even those are possibly going to start filling up as the server matures some. But yeah, so the new servers, they have tons and tons of lands. There's not everyone that is a patron, and you can also transfer money over to the new servers as long as you're on the same auction house cluster. But the bright side is that the server 9, server 10, server 11, the ones that they just opened today and yesterday, those are on their own auction house cluster, so the old players cannot transfer over money. It's a completely fresh start, and you can actually get in there, and you'll notice that the auction house prices are like dirt cheap. They're like 50% cheaper than on the other servers. So that's a great benefit right there. And you can also take the knowledge that you have and learn from playing in the old servers there, and you're going to go and just fly past all the other players that are new. You're going to have a great, great gaming experience. So definitely re-roll if you can. If you have 2 character slots and you don't have an extra one and you've already used them on your old server, you do have to log into that server and then log out. Like log back. So you have to log into your server, go through that queue, which sucks, and then get to the character selection and then go select back, and then you can go and select a new server and start queuing up for that one and creating a character there. That's if you have a character slot available. If you do not have a character slot available, you're pretty much screwed. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to make a new account. That's the simplest way to get around this. Create a new account. Either buy patron status for 1 month with it, or just do a free account. If it is a shared auction house, you can transfer money over and you can buy patron status via the marketplace, the auction house. The Apex has been around roughly 40 gold, 30 to 40 gold on my servers, and so you can do that. And on the fresh start servers, server 9, server 10, server 11, Apex has only been around 20 to 30 gold, so it's a lot cheaper. And so even if you do start as a free-to-play player, you can earn a good amount of gold fairly quickly. 20 to 30 gold for someone that knows what they're doing isn't too hard, especially with like log prices and lumber prices and stone prices all like through the roof, because it is a brand new server and everyone is trying to build those houses. So definitely re-roll, go on those servers, check them out, and if you have missed that batch and you feel like you want to wait, there's a very, very, very good chance that they're releasing a 12th server for the US servers, and the Europe servers still haven't even come yet. So if you are on the Europe servers, just kind of like quit playing and either build a lot of money up and then transfer that money over to the new servers when they come, because yeah, you're most likely going to have like a 5,000 queue in the Europe servers from what I understand. So it's not worth it to wait in an 8-hour queue to try and play for a couple hours. Like it's just ridiculous. So save up money, go to the new servers. They should be releasing a lot of new servers in the Europe region. And anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and share and subscribe.